But first, Marla, coming up here at 7 o'clock.
Johnny Depp talks about drug and alcohol use and a shocking text message he sent about his ex-wife, Amber Heard, during his libel trial.
Attorney Brian Claypool, you see him there standing by live. He'll join us when we come back.
Attorneys for Amber Heard took over the questioning of Johnny Depp and his libel lawsuit against his ex-wife. The first few days on the stand saw Depp talking about his family history and how he would never be abusive toward Heard. Today, Heard's lawyers asked him about his drug and alcohol abuse.
I said that I had had a glass of champagne and I had taken a double dose of the narcotics, of the opiates. That's a very different thing from being drunk.
And you would sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right? During this time period.
Isn't happy hour any time?
In addition to testimony about his drug use, Heard's attorney showed a text message where Depp said he wanted to burn Amber. Depp denied ever assaulting Heard, saying she was the aggressor in the relationship.
Joining us now to talk about this trial is attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I find it interesting that Johnny Depp is going through with this, given the fact that he's already lost a libel lawsuit in the UK. That was last year. So what's your reaction to that? Why is he doing this?
Yeah, hey, Marla and Alex, great to be back with you. Have you guys ever heard that phrase, let sleeping dogs lie? Well, that couldn't apply much better than in this case because you just hit a home run. Johnny Depp sued a company called News Group in London for defamation, and he lost that case. The judge in that case found that 12 out of 14 claims of domestic violence by Amber Heard were what's called substantially true, because that's the standard you've got to prove. So if Johnny Depp wanted to rehabilitate his image, he picked the wrong place. You can't rehabilitate an image in a courtroom. You're always going to get a bad outcome. And I'll tell you on top of that, Marla, it's really hard to sue a public figure because Amber Heard's an actress. She's a public figure. It's hard to sue a public figure in the first place for defamation because you've got to prove malice, that it was done maliciously, and you've got to prove damages. And you just showed clips of Johnny Depp that defeat his damages claim. Because if I'm representing Amber Heard, I'm going to argue in closing argument that that Disney on Pirates of the Caribbean 6, they didn't hire Johnny Depp because he just testified under oath that he drinks whiskey for breakfast and happy hour is any time, and I take drugs. That's why he wasn't hired.
So, and that's an interesting point you bring up, because we had Billy Bush on the other night, and he was making the point that the whole reason that Johnny Depp is doing this is to try to rehab his image. It wasn't even about winning the money, and you're making the point that it's not helping him rehab the image, but will he get the money? Do you think that he's got a chance to win this thing?
Alex, it's going to be really hard. Now, what Depp's lawyers did favorably is that they got into evidence on direct examination of Amber Heard being violent. You remember all that testimony? In fact, I was surprised that Amber Heard's lawyers didn't file what's called motions in limine. It's Latin for to limit the evidence. Any jury trial, Alex, you can file these and limit the evidence and shrink it. And cases are won or lost in these motions. Heard's lawyers allowed in evidence by Depp that she was crazy, that she was belligerent, that she was punching him and lying about a bloody nose using nail polish. So to that extent, Depp's lawyers did a good job to cast Heard in a bad light. But where he has failed, his legal team has failed, is they opened up, like you said, this entire can of worms about his drug use. And you tell me, Alex and Marla, what lawyer wouldn't know what the evidence was going to be against him? I was watching today and I'm like, what the heck? His lawyers knew that he sent an email saying he wants to burn her in the back trunk of a car. What lawyer would let in evidence of him
drown her before they burn her? That's how bad that text is.
There you go, right. And then there's an audio of him smashing glasses on the ground and allegedly cutting his wrist. No good lawyers would have let that in. So that allowing this evidence in my opinion, makes it very difficult for Depp to win, especially on the damages claim.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to believe him that he wasn't hired because of what Amber Heard allegedly said. They're going to say, Disney and these other studios didn't hire you because you're crazy and a lunatic.
And
Right.
we still have to hear from Amber Heard herself as well. So, Brian, I'm sure we're going to have you back to talk more about the Depp libel lawsuit.
Yeah, they say stars, they're just like us, but maybe not in this case. All right, Brian, thank you so
Not
much.
here.
Coming up, boss.